Rover to Pathfinder, we're at 10,000 feet and continuing descent. Rover to Pathfinder, we're picking up something unusual on sonar down here. Approaching for visual. Oh my god.
Here's the show! Don't worry, guys. I found my secret dream wife. We're here with Comicals Cosplay, and I wanted to say, I saw the trident bobbing up and down through a crowd, and I ran towards it, only to find a fabulous DC Bombshells Mara. Oh my god.
Hello.
Your cosplay is amazing.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process you went to create it, and why this particular version of Mara?
Okay, so Queen Mara is actually my favorite DC character of all time, even though a lot of people don't actually know who she is.
Which is a shame. She's extremely important.
She's going to be in the Aquaman movie, so there's that. Shameless promotion. And
look at both arms.
I would say, when I'm at a con, I think at least 9% of the time people think I'm either Mermaid Man from SpongeBob because of the M,
yeah,
or I'm a Battle Royale Ariel.
Honestly, either way, both really cool options.
Really cool options, but no, I'm Aquaman's wife.
True.
We're married now.
It's true. Oh, no rings! Oh, it's unofficial.
So I took the trident. She's my favorite character in the first book of Aquaman that I've ever read, which was the New 52's run of Aquaman, the first trade, The Trench.
And that's such a good book,
It is an amazing book. If you haven't read it, go read it right now. I promise you, Aquaman's not lame. Everyone thinks he is, but he's
incredible.
not.
All you need to do is read that first volume of New 52.
Just read that trust me,
Jeff
The
Johns
Trench.
wrote one of the greatest Aquaman stories of all time.
Well, in Jeff Johns' run, she goes to a pet store to get dog food for her dog, which can't swim, ironically. And
I love that. It's such a minor touch.
It's a beautiful touch. And this really obnoxious manager kind of is not being very nice and is trying to find the zipper on her costume because he's a creep.
Yeah.
So she breaks his arm. And once that happened, I was like, I love you.
Yep.
This is happening. You are now my favorite character of all
She
time.
sticks up for herself and for others. And she's such a dynamic and
I really love her
because
I feel like with DC, there's a lot of look on Wonder Woman. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
Wonder Woman is great. She's amazing.
Yep.
But she's kind of like this perfect female character. And Mara, she has character flaws. She has jealousy issues. She doesn't actually have the most perfect marriage in the world, even though to me, Aquaman and Mara are the best power couple.
No spoilers. There is a bit of a backstory to how she met Aquaman.
I don't want to spoil why
spoilers.
she met Aquaman.
No
so
spoilers.
You should go read that yourself. So
Read the
it's
book.
because of that, I think she's just a really relatable character for other people. She's very human despite the fact that she comes from the ocean.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned that, especially juxtaposed against Wonder Woman, who is a demigod.
She's a demigod.
She's a demigod, but Mara as a character has time and time again proven to be a far more human character.
She's very human, and I feel like there's definitely not a lot of love for her. Like I said, people can't recognize me half the time, and it's almost a shame because I think she's probably one of the greater characters in the DC universe, even if she doesn't necessarily have the spotlight.
Now, your costume is amazing. We were talking about it a little bit earlier. You were saying that The scales were a little bit tricky. They were not originally that particular shade of green.
Yeah, so this costume took about 7 months to make in total, with little breaks in between. The main issue of the costume, or the main time consumer, being these gorgeous scales, basically.
And they are gorgeous.
They are gorgeous. They're metal scale mail, you know, the legit thing. I got them off the Ring Lord, you know, pretty legitimate website for them. And they don't really have them in this color. They have similar, but it doesn't come in a big enough bulk to not cost a fortune to buy that many of them.
Which is a huge problem when you're running into trying to do legitimate armor.
I am not, you know, a millionaire. I can't really afford that.
No.
So I went and I bought one of their like bulk packages. I think it's about 1,000 scales for like $50.
Yep.
And I spray painted them. Well, I put a white prime coat over it to get them white. That was hand painted. That was really obnoxious.
Yeah.
And then luckily Liquitex spray paint comes in a lot of great colors. Works on metal.
Yep.
Did this. Put a prime coat on it. Finished it. This is probably about close to 700 scales. I did do almost all 1,000 of them, so you know, just in case you mess up, you've got that extra bit to it. But it took about a month just to find the right color. There's so many shades of green, and if you don't find the right spray paint, it kind of messes up. And for me, it's really important to have that perfect color, because with the outfit itself, there's this dynamic of this shade of green and then this dark shade of green, and I wanted my scales to match the fabric underneath. In case there was any issues, it would still look as a set, like a set piece. You wouldn't see that contrast in the costume.
And it looks absolutely gorgeous. And then, in particular, you were doing the DC Bombshells version.
Aunt Lucia, he made these beautiful bombshell designs for all of the females in the DC universe. It was originally an art piece that was turned into variant covers and then statues, and now because of its popularity, there's actually a DC Bombshells comic, which is really great, and it's basically just a comic with all the females in it, and they're doing what they do best, but in the outfits, and I just fell in love with Mara's, and so
It's so cute.
the whole time
Looking at the whole line, my top favorites of like those particular designs were the Hawk Girl and the Mara.
I think
beautiful
Hawk
designs.
Girl's gorgeous. I'm a big fan of Batwoman's. I love the batter outfit's really cute.
Yeah, the classic.
The classic.
Baseball player.
What's more interesting, I think, is that other than, I think Harley and Mara are like the only ones with various outfits.
Yes.
Harley has a couple holiday outfits and that one like special outfit with the Joker, but Mara right off the bat came out with 3 different designs for her outfits, and this one was the one that they turned into the statue. This was, I believe, option A, because they called it option A, B, and C.
Yes.
So this is the one that did the statue, and I actually based this more off of the statue they made out of it than the original art piece, because if you look at it, there is actually some slight differences to the costume.
Yep. And it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm loving the trident as well. I need to get one myself.
It's beautiful.
But thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Of course, thank you. Namishuan!
Yeah! Yeah!
You're watching Fandom Workshop. Stay tuned.
I'm always super excited when one of my friends cosplays for the first time. I'm also super crazy jealous when they do it better than me. Joining us is Rebecca Green, friend of Fandom Workshop and North Bay TV. How are you, Rebecca?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Wonderful. You are the spitting image of the Suicide Squad version of Harley Quinn. Please tell us what inspired you to do this particular version of the character.
Well, I saw the movie trailer, and I've always wanted to do cosplay, but could never figure out my character.
Yeah.
And I thought, Harley, that's my alter ego.
As soon as you saw her on screen, it just kind of jumped out at you.
I knew it.
Nice. That's usually how the bug bites you. So this is your first experience cosplaying. How's it been?
Amazing.
And you did a combination of making your own items, searching for and finding items, customizing pieces. What would you say were some of the most challenging things that you had to overcome?
Finding this necklace and these boots, but I got them custom made.
Excellent.
And then making the t-shirt was easy and fun, and you know, a few extra stitches and some rips. I kind of got into it.
Excellent. You weathered it down a little bit.
Oh, it was fun.
Kind of made it your own. I was also going to say, I was also blown away that you put the attention to detail into getting all of the tattoos right.
I did.
So you just recently saw some screen caps that had a little bit more detailed photos of what they looked like. You went in, did the Photoshop graphic design, and printed them out. Did your own temporary tattoos, and these are gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love them.
Thank you.
You honestly probably the most screen accurate Suicide Squad Harley that I think we've ever seen.
You too.
And this is your first. And this is your first cosplay. Like, that blows me away. Like, you've done an incredible job. I am blown away by it, and I'm so glad that you're enjoying the experience of cosplaying. What has the fan reaction been so far?
Incredible, and I can't believe how nice people are.
Yep.
This is gonna be addicting.
Oh yeah, that's how it bites you. We are here with the incomparable Karen Strassman. Now, I am a huge fan of your work from Last Exile, Sonic, Rouge the Bat, and I haven't seen Lucky Star yet, but I'm excited to. I've got the box set ready to watch, still in the plastic, so I need to pop that open. But I wanted to take a couple seconds here to talk to you about your work and your process a little bit in creating such amazing, unique, incredible voices. I think one of the first voices I ever heard you do was Helena Douglas from Dead or Alive.
Gosh, it's so much fun
fantastic.
for me to see like what voices people remember and what voices people like.
Oh yeah.
Like Queen Delphine in Last Exile.
Yes.
Like at this con, I haven't heard anybody talk about her.
Really?
You're the first one to bring her up. And
Oh.
She was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What would you say would be your most fun voices that you've done over the years? I know it's triage.
It's so
That-
hard.
Whenever I ask voice
No.
actors who their favorites are, as many as you want. What are some of the more noteworthy ones? No one's gonna
see.
get mad if you don't pick their favorite.
No, but when you watch Lucky Star, you'll see how sweet Miyuki is. She's just
Is she one of your favorites?
innocent and sweet. She's one of my favorites.
I'm very excited
I
about
love
that.
that show because it's so sweet and it's just so constantly sweet.
See,
It's
that's
just so sweet.
why my friends they said like, Evan, you're going to love this. Buy it. So I'm like, okay, box set.
It's
I haven't
just
watched it yet, but I'm so
silly and
excited.
sweet, but you just you can't watch it and not be in a good mood.
Yeah. So you are amazing at doing both ends of the spectrum, the sweet and adorable, and
And
also
the Melinas.
Yes, and then of course the more sinisters a little bit. Do you have any particular direction that you like to go with when creating a voice?
No, I mean, when creating a voice, I like to see an image.
Okay.
So if I can see if it's Japanese and I'm dubbing it, then I go off what the Japanese artist has done.
Mm-hmm.
And I try and stay as true to the Japanese and
Yeah.
the American version as possible. If there isn't a version and I'm originating the voice, then
Mm-hmm.
I really like to see the picture. I mean, like the picture of Melina, for example, is so evocative. Just seeing that.
Yeah.
So those are the things that that's the real inspiration for me. And then I just start getting playful with the director and trying something, with Melina, going down low, going a little higher, a little raspier, less raspier, and seeing what the clients and the directors want.
So it starts with the image, and then you take it from there.
Yeah.
And
Unless
also,
there's not an image, in which case
Yeah.
then there's a character description, and you
Yeah.
just have to go from that.
And speaking of the character and the intonations that you use, particularly your dialect work, is incredible. And you were here talking a little bit about that at the con here. What is your experience? Like, where did you start getting interested in all the different dialect work?
When I was 19, I went to France to study for a year. But even before that, my mother was Danish, so we would go home to Denmark a lot for vacations. And I heard Danish spoken around me, and I learned to speak it a little bit.
Yeah.
And now I speak it like a 3-year-old.
Aw.
But my accent, people say my accent is really good.
Excellent.
Når jeg taler dansk, jeg kan sige ryggrad mi fløder, og so they say my accent is very
Yeah.
good, and I enjoyed that part of it. And when I moved to France, I wanted to learn the language.
And so you picked up the language and
I
a bit more of the
really-
dialect there as well.
Yeah, and I really worked trying to get the language really clean so that I could act in French.
Mm-hmm.
And also while I was there, I did an apprenticeship at a studio where they were coaching French actors to act in English for the camera.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of co-productions from Canada and from the United States that go to France to shoot. So they want French actors who can act in English. So I became a dialect coach there.
Excellent.
And I spent years coaching French actors to act in English, and I just became passionate about dialect coaching.
That's incredible.
And I started playing with other accents.
Yeah, and an amazing opportunity to not only improve your own French dialect working with these French actors, but also to
absolutely.
get their English up to snuff as well. So kind of like working both ways. Well, that's excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us a little bit. It's been a pleasure. Hey guys, I'm with Cool People. We're here with the fabulous judges of this year's cosplay competition. Would you mind introducing yourselves?
I'm Imari Yumiki. I'm Crystal Lake. I'm Hanyan.
Now, we've seen a little bit of the talent that you guys had to judge today. Beautiful, beautiful work. Now, what metrics do you guys go into evaluating these different pieces of work?
We do a lot of different things. We look at craftsmanship, we look at creativity, originality, and then anything that they do, like they tell us about what materials they worked on and how long it took them to work on it, and then different things about like why they chose the character and such.
One of the number one, criteria that we judged off of was having reference, and if it was an original design, did they actually have some sort of sketch or some sort of actual layout of how their design was supposed to look on paper. And it was incredibly difficult because some of the contestants were from different series or combined elements from different genres.
Kind of tied up in what they're saying is just the overall presentation. There's kind of an art to making a character come alive. It's a little bit of acting, it's a little bit of the craftsmanship, it's a little bit of everything. And it doesn't necessarily mean physical resemblance. It's just, do you have what it takes to just make me look at it and go, yes, this is it.
So it's not just judging off of a like, oh yes, they rated a 5 on the craftsmanship meter. It's really a holistic judging of all the different aspects that go into not only the costume but the cosplayer themselves. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Same time next year?
Yeah.
Awesome! Cosplay programming for a convention has to be excruciatingly difficult. We're here with Becca, the cosplay director here at Kraken Con. So can you tell me, what goes into doing the cosplay programming for a convention like this?
Well, we usually offer the opportunity for contestants to pre-register online. They can upload their information through a Google form, which translates to me into a Google spreadsheet.
Awesome.
Where all their information is displayed for me. I turn that into individual sheets of paper with all their information on that. They usually submit a progress photo or reference photo that I can print out somehow using somebody's ink.
Yep.
And staple that to their, sign-up sheet. Given that they've told me what character they are from what series, I found them a little snatch of music so that there could be some interesting music playing behind their little bit on stage.
Yep.
And then a lot of forms get printed, a lot of logistics get worked out, and I sit at a desk and wait for people to show up in costumes.
Wow. This is so much work. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well,
oh my god. That's You're handling it like a
don't worry,
champ.
I do it a lot. It's okay.
You're handling it like a champ. Now,
Thank you.
what can we expect to see from the cosplay competition coming up here?
You can expect to see some really amazing costumes. Like, even from the reference pictures, you can tell, oh my gosh, somebody's gonna make that, and it's gonna like appear on the stage somehow. Like, all right, I guess that's true, but we can expect to see some really, really, really impressive work.
Each and every one of them just absolutely blew my mind. I don't know how anyone could possibly go through judging all of that. Well, we've had an amazing time. We had an excellent opportunity to talk to some special guests and fantastic cosplayers, and we learned that the world is big enough for 2 or more Aqua people. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And drop us a line at fandomworkshop@gmail.com and let us know what you're a fan of.
That's my line. It's like you're stealing my identity. Like it's some kind of crisis.
It's an identity crisis.
And now you're stealing my punchlines! No!